My car was stolen with my notary stamp inside. I keep an extra notary stamp in my car so that when people call me and I'm out and about, I can go ahead and meet them at their home or somewhere else and go ahead and notarize for them. But we have to address some questions first to find out why this was such a detrimental thing to happen. How and where my car was stolen. Why is a stolen notary stamp so serious? And what did I do about my stamp being stolen? Let's address those questions today. I'm Carla Stewart, owner of Superior Signature Notary Service. I am a notary public commissioned in the state of Ohio. How and where was my car stolen? My husband and I enjoy traveling to Canada every few years. We enjoy going over the border to the Canadian side and first going to Niagara Falls. It's beautiful there. If you've never been, you should go. Then we tour a branch office of an organization that we're involved in, which is located about an hour from the falls. Then we travel further and we go into Toronto and spend 2 or 3 days there. We use TTC to get around. That is the Toronto Transit Commission. So the subways, buses, and streetcars. We eat delicious food. We walk around Lake Ontario. It's absolutely gorgeous if you've never been. We go to the downtown mall and just explore. There's so much to do there. Well, in May of 2024, we were celebrating our anniversary. And this is a trip that we've done before, so we wanted to do it again to celebrate our anniversary. We spent a day at Niagara Falls. We toured the facilities of the volunteer organization that we're involved in. Then, of course, we went to Toronto like we always do. Of course, the trip was going great. Checked into our hotel. Then, as always, we drove from the hotel to the transit center where we can leave our car for the day and then take the subway into Toronto. We had a great day of exploring the city and, as usual, ate some extremely delicious food. We took a lot of photos, a lot of videos. It was a great time. And of course, we walked a lot. When the day was over, we then traveled back to the transit center to go where our car was parked. We went to where we parked the car and there was no car. It's 10 o'clock at night. And of course, panic set in. Well, we wondered if the car had been towed. So we found some TTC personnel and we talked with them about the situation and found out that our car had not been towed. We determined that our car had been stolen. Thankfully, the police station was nearby and we got over there and we filed a report with the police. What we found out was that Canada is facing a national crisis of car thefts. Yep, we fell victim. Apparently, there are organized crime rings stealing cars, using technology to equip these thieves with electronic devices that can mimic and intercept the signal of a key fob. Then using those devices, they gain access to the car and then drive away like they own it. And yes, that's what happened to us. Well, after processing what had happened, filling out a police report, Ubering back to the hotel, and then calling our insurance company to file a claim, I realized that my notary stamp had been in the car. I was already upset about the car being stolen. Then, of course, to find out that my notary stamp was gone was just doubly bad. Why was I so upset about my stamp being stolen? Because I am responsible for securing my notary stamp. Having my stamp stolen is very serious because it could be used to commit fraud or forgery. Obviously, I don't want that to happen. When a notary stamp is lost or stolen, there are some steps that a notary needs to take. The notary needs to notify the notary public administrator in their state. And for Ohio, that's the Secretary of State. They need to file a police report. They need to order a new stamp. And if the notary lives in a state where a bond is necessary, which Ohio is not, they also need to reach out to that bonding agency and file a report with them. Then the notary needs to keep a record of how the stamp was stolen or lost, and then what steps they took thereafter. I felt terrible about having my stamp stolen. And of course, I felt terrible about my car being gone. So what did we do? Well, the next day we were scheduled to take a buffet cruise with live music on the Odyssey, which is a yacht that cruises Lake Ontario. Very romantic, beautiful weather and all that, right? I didn't want to go. I wanted to go home. But we went on the cruise and it turned out to be a wonderful experience. It started out really foggy, but the weather really cleared up nicely. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. I'll leave a link to my husband's video in the description below. Now back to the stolen car. The truth is, I was careless. I had no business leaving my stamp in the car, especially since we were leaving the state of Ohio, never mind the fact that we were leaving the country. I've learned my lesson. Now here's a side note. We later found out that our car is probably in an African or Middle Eastern country. Vehicles are stolen. They are placed in shipping containers at the port of Montreal and then shipped out to sea, never to be seen again by their owners. Since then, we've bounced back. We've gotten another car. We've recovered. And with our car, we have several different theft deterrent devices attached to it. Our friends ask, will you ever go to Toronto again? Well, that's the plan. We will. We won't allow this to completely deter our travel plans for the rest of our lives. But we, of course, may rent a vehicle before going. If you're traveling to Canada, go. By all means, go and have a great time. Just be safe, stay alert, and don't leave your notary stamp in your car. Now, like and subscribe to this channel for more notary news, helpful tips, and notary stories. And watch this video to find out why I had my stamp in the car in the first place.